Mm.
I was going to be a paid player, but things just didn't work out. Finances get pushed to the side, and the deal I was going to capitalize on went away. And then Endwalker came out, and now it'd be a pain in the ass to try to become one. So I'm going to wait a while, and then I'll just buy the collector's edition for $60. That comes with everything. Yeah, but we got quite a few things to talk about. I got a bunch of pages.
And Stardew Valley. It seems like it's been updating. It seems like I've gotten 5 or 6 updates.
Yeah.
In the last few days.
Hey, this is going to be the last major update for the game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go work on this chocolate factory stuff. And then he's come out with like 5 or 6 more updates. Like, dude.
Well, but these were all like tiny bug fixes. They weren't major. But it's like...
But I honestly think he's actually making another content update. I don't think he can leave the game alone. I don't think he can leave the game alone.
Yeah, I mean, ever since last week there was a minor update 1.5.5, which I think added support for widescreen monitors, like ultra widescreen. And ever since that update, I swear I've gotten like 5 or 6 hot fixes. It seems like every day since that update, like that update broke it.
Added more mod support, but that might have been a fix because now that there's the widescreen support, then you have to update the game to support mods in widescreen.
Yeah. So basically, he broke the game
and had to fix it
with 1.5.5 and has been desperately like. I only saw one thing where it was like, where he was like, oh yeah, this something broke and I'll fix it. But it's like, I swear I've got every day, sometimes twice a day, I'll get a new Stardew Valley update on Steam. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they're all 1.5.5. So it's not like a content update, but it's some sort of hot fix that keeps.
Listen. He didn't even have to add widescreen. And he decided to already, so it's like the dude just can't leave the game alone. He really can't. Yeah. First question before we even introduce the show: GMT, are you in new rooms? How long have I been gone? Actually, GMT's been gone for a while. We might both be in new rooms since the last time she's been around here. So, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome. And with that, welcome to the Vomitorium, episode 109. As always, I am your host, Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. How you doing today?
Great. Doing great.
That's good.
I got some chicken today.
Chicken?
I got some chicken for dinner. It's slowly getting cold on the plate here. I already ate most of it. So.
I was saying, you can feel free to eat on the show. I don't give a shit.
No, I think I ate enough.
Yeah. You have to go reheat some more later when you get hungry again.
Yeah. GMT, welcome to the future.
Yeah. Where everything's white and, on a CRT TV. I don't know how futuristic that is, but...
Everything's white. That's right.
Oh, that's how the future is often depicted in, like, old movies and stuff, right? Like, it's just, like, everyone's in white jumpsuits and this white walls and stuff like that. Bill and Ted.
I got a new poster that I need to put up behind me finally.
Yeah.
Of Link. Hey.
No, just flip it around and put it up the other side. It'll seem more futuristic.
Yeah. There you go.
Just go look at my new poster.
That's right. I need to put that up so that white wall isn't so boring. Or maybe keep it boring. I don't know. You have to go on the run at the age of 29. That's right. My crystal is blinking. It's been blinking like crazy for the last 15 years.
Shoot. Mine's been blinking like crazy just for the last whole year. I turned 30 recently. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm up there in the age of the proper adults.
Yep. And I'm up there in the age of the old and decrepit.
Ah, not quite yet.
Not yet.
Give it another few months. Yeah.
So have you heard about Bowser?
How he owes Nintendo a lot of money?
Yeah, Gary Bowser. Gary Bowser, the pirate, the Nintendo pirate. Angry Nintendo pirate.
It's funny just how many people in the world actually have the surname Bowser. It's apparently a very old surname, and I never even knew it existed until the nickname
Bowser?
of King Koopa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's someone in government named Bowser, too. Isn't it the mayor of D.C. or something like that?
Yeah. Her last name is
don't know.
Bowser. And obviously there's a Bowser that is the current president of Nintendo America.
Yeah. And then there's Gary Bowser, who now owes Nintendo another $10 million on top of the $4.5 million he already owed Nintendo.
How did they even get him on even more? Was he hiding shit from him? Or?
Yet another civil suit. I don't quite understand.
You'd think at like a certain point there'd be a limit of like, dude, you just wronged us. This is how much you owe. There's like no way you could stack even more at a certain point. Like, how is he ever going to pay any of this off? He's not even going to put a dent in this shit.
I don't think he has any money.
No, I don't think he does either. Wasn't all his money from like advertisements on his ROM site or whatever?
Yeah, it's like, Nintendo, you need to let me put my ROM site back up so that I can make the money to pay you.
Like, we could have just worked out a deal, right? Like, Nintendo, you could just take a cut of the advertisement fund on the ROM site, and then we could just be putting these ROMs up as archive legally. And you could just make money off of it. It's a win-win.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, some additional lawsuit that they filed in April 2021. I don't understand how it's... Yeah, I'm not going to get into... But somehow I guess it's different from the first lawsuit that they already won. So, I don't know. And possibly jail time might be involved. Whatever.
GMP wonders how many people called Mario Bowser are out there. I would think that would be a new trend, if any. Because Bowser, to me, I don't know the roots, but that sounds like a Germanic name. Like, it's got a real, like, Germanic sound to it, Bowser. I doubt there's many Marios that are German. That's a very Italian, Mediterranean name.
How many men named Bowser are, wanting to marry a girl named Peach? That's the question.
That's probably more
she
likely.
Keeps turning them down. I don't know.
Yeah. Nintendo seems to just constantly be in lawsuits these days.
Well, I think once you get to a certain size of a company, you're always going to be in lawsuits forever.
You'd think, yeah.
Although, in Nintendo's case, they're the ones doing the suing, which I think is
not always.
Is kind of rare. Yeah.
Not always. In Germany, they just got sued, and they lost the case.
Yeah.
So Nintendo loses a court case over digital pre-order cancellation policies. So Nintendo's cancellation policy, for the longest time now, has been you have until a week before the game comes out to cancel your pre-order and get your money back. If you don't, and you don't pay the full thing, well, you lose your money. Womp womp.
Mm-hmm.
But I think historically, too, they've only let you pay the whole thing, so you just get the game anyway. It's not the end of the world. But they lost.
Wait,
apparently,
if you cancel, you get your money back, right?
Only if you cancel outside of that 7-day window before the game comes out. And then you get a full refund. But if it's within that window, I guess because it's too much stress on their system, they don't let you cancel the pre-order. And Germany's like, nah, that violates our customer service policies that we have as a country. We give people certain consumer rights, and you have to let them cancel it, even within a day of the game launching.
So right up to the launch time.
Yeah. And let's see.
They probably do that just in the region of Germany.
Yeah, probably. Like, it doesn't have to be a system-wide thing for like global, but Nintendo, as they translated the decision in English for people, stated that since the preload was not a playable game, that the download is worthless to buyers and that Nintendo does not fulfill its part of the exchange until the game's release date. So another one of their justifications have always been that when you pre-order a game, you actually start pre-loading it digitally the week before it comes out. And they were always able to just cancel it that way. So also it's like, so if you return it, you could manually delete it, but to make sure that you don't have this preloaded data that somebody could technically pirate off of, they'd have to go and send some type of signal to cause it to delete itself and stuff like that. But that wasn't enough of an excuse for the German authorities. It's like, no, well, just do it then. You know, like, it's your responsibility, not the consumers. They canceled the order. Maybe don't preload data. I don't know. That's a fairly new thing. I get it's popular, but if it's a consumer risk, don't do it.
Yeah, I'd imagine then at least in Germany, maybe in all of Europe, because I don't know how finely tuned they can narrow it down to. They would just say, okay, then you don't get the game until it comes out.
Well, from what I'm reading, this is going to affect at least the EU. And that's because, especially with games, but most consumers, like, protections, I guess would be the category this falls under. Most consumer protections are unified under EU countries. Which is like, I don't know, it's kind of like the way the U.S. treats it. If you win a suit over something in one state, there's a good chance that even if it's not in line with all state laws, that it could end up ultimately affecting the other states. But the EU is just more unified under this because the bureau that investigates this stuff is a EU bureau and not an individual state thing.
So they're just screwing over it ends up screwing over the customers, because basically what they're going to end up doing is back to the bad old days of when you couldn't download the game until it was released, and then the servers all crash. And
launch day is just ruined for people who are doing it digitally.
Yeah.
Maybe even physically, too, because if the servers are crashing, how are you going to get your day one patch for a physical copy?
Yeah. I mean, that was supposed to somewhat solve that problem, because if you pre-order it, you could end up getting it any time in the 7 days before and greatly reduce the load. But the EU's like, no, we're, supposed for the consumer, but it's like, okay, we just, we did this for their convenience.
There is an alternative. Nintendo has not announced that they've made any changes to their pre-order policy yet, even in the EU. I don't see what the exact results of the case are. They only translated the decision. To them, this might just be a fine that's a drop in the bucket that they might even be willing to pay, because it's nothing compared to the results of continuing to do things the way that they're doing.
But can they continue to not do it? Then they'll get another. Won't they get sued
they
again?
Just keep getting fined. Okay. I mean, if it's a drop in the bucket compared to what they make the other way around, who cares, right? Like that's what a big business, a mega corporation like Nintendo would see it. I mean, they're an international entity stationed in Japan.
But see, I thought you were going to say maybe they'll still do the preloading.
Well, they might do that too, and they just might find some way to, which wouldn't be that hard. Send a note out that tells things that if you canceled your pre-order, it just deletes it off your system. Because unless you hack it, the preload stuff is worthless to a consumer anyway. It needs the license to activate it.
I guess. I don't know. It seems like if they are concerned with piracy, that won't fix that problem, because you could just like disconnect your Switch from the internet and somehow pirate it without
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
regardless, you'd have to do that if you were trying to pirate it, right? So, because again, it needs a license key to activate all the preload data, which was even what the court said is like, without the license that you get on launch day, the preload is useless. And that is factually true. The only people that'd be useful for are programmers who know how to fudge licenses and hack it anyway, right? Which
which I guess they could probably, they could probably just buy the game and do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like, I really just don't see this suit helping consumers too much, other than like, hey, you can refund it up to the last day.
Yeah.
But Europe, in general, requires a 14-day period in which a product can be refunded. And this whole pre-order thing, if you order it right before the week before it comes out, well, you don't even have 1 day, right? Like, you can't refund it then with Nintendo's policy. And you need a whole 2-week period according to their stipulations to refund a product.
Yeah, well, that they should be able to get a refund 14 days after it's released, not 14 days after you bought it.
Yeah, it's just people want to be able to cancel their pre-orders. And the way the situation is now is they can't even do that.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
TMT says I could send it encrypted and send the decryption key on release day. I don't... maybe that's what they do.
What they already do, basically, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like encryption has ever stopped pirates. I mean, one thing we've complained about many times before, especially, oh my god, Borderlands 2 is ruined by this idea. But, no, not Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3. Borderlands 2 is fine. Borderlands 3's encryption ruined the game size. It made the game like 3 times as big as it needed to be. But encryption does not stop pirates. It takes them a little longer, but most of them are actually better programmers than the people who encrypted the games. That's just the truth of the matter. To stop pirates, you just need to make things more accessible for people. Unless the pirates are Chinese, you're not stopping them no matter how accessible you make it.
True.
I was actually having this conversation with my brother recently, and I was trying to explain, it's like, no. Consoles only do bad in China if you eliminate the sales of bootleg consoles. Even with like the Switch able to be sold in China now, the Chinese, because of the way the Chinese honor system works, would still rather buy a Chinese bootleg Switch than an actual Nintendo Switch. Right? Console sales do great, but they don't want to support things that aren't Chinese. So they will still pirate your shit. And it was like, oh, look at the incredibleness that this Chinese person managed to recreate your thing without your resources. That's how they're going to see it. It's a different culture. Different form of piracy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think a lot of game companies are slowly pulling back out of the idea of working with China. They thought like, oh, hey, if we partner with like Tencent or some Chinese company, then we'll make all this money of this audience we haven't tapped into, of the billion people that live in China. And then it turns out we're still not making money over China because they actually don't care. It was a phantom audience.
Yeah. Welcome, Fizz Chozo.
Yeah.
Who is new here. Welcome.
On the mention of our good friend, John Dillard.
That's right. Yeah, I watched John's unboxing earlier. Or no, it wasn't his unboxing. It was
Don Chin's.
Don Chin doing the boomerang box earlier. I was in the chat shilling for the Vomitorium.
Yeah. I saw the notification for it. It like pinged and woke me up. And I'm like, I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah, man, they were just like crucifying me for taking a while with that box. John just can't get over it.
Yeah, I agree. Video game companies should be partnering with South Korea if they're looking for any audience. Yeah. I don't think they're not. I think video games do pretty well in South Korea as it is, but there's definitely a better place to put money into because it's got a large gaming audience there that actually wants to support the people who create the games.
Yeah, I've been watching Scott Adams a lot lately, and his mantra lately is China is not safe for business.
No.
Do not do business in China.
The only place that China is safe for business, right? The only circumstance is if you are Chinese directly with a Chinese business that is partnered with China itself. Then you're fine.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they could suck a chode for as long as China cares.
Yeah, I even saw where, did you see when Nasser was making his little, what are they called, plushies?
Yeah.
For his Creepsters campaign, and this Chinese website where he had them created stole it.
Yeah.
Totally stole it.
And they completely claimed that they had been doing it first, but obviously I watched Diller draw the characters live in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah, they were designed by John Dillard. And this Chinese website just stole them and started selling them themselves.
Yeah. Well, the worst part is a bunch of people who just outright hate Nasser, because there's a lot of people who hate Nasser for honestly no good reasons. He's kind of awkward. I know he can be annoying at times, but that's just kind of who he is. He's still kind of a good guy. A lot of people hate him, and they're trying to use this look, Nasser's stealing a product of somebody else. Well, one, it's a Chinese company. Automatically, your trust in it should have gone down.
Yeah.
They'll steal anything.
But it's
from
funny
anyone.
they had Dillard's original drawings
that he posted on his Twitter. Yeah,
and that they were selling them, I think, as monster plushie. So.
And then people would say, this is why you have to sign or watermark your image. It's no, you don't. Trust me. You can if you want a signature. I think it's fine. You can just erase watermarks. It's not hard. I could do it manually. There are websites where an AI will get rid of the watermark by sampling the colors around it and figuring out what it should have been without the watermark there. It's there's no point, honestly. It takes seconds.
You probably haven't seen it. Do you know this guy, Nathan DeBruin, who is that photographer who was put on the stand in the Kyle Rittenhouse case?
I didn't know him when you mentioned his name, but I know who you're talking about. I did watch quite a bit of the case.
Yeah, he has. I guess he's a photographer, and it's sort of an amateur photographer, but trying to be a professional. I went to his website that he's recently put up, and oh man, talk about watermarks! He has watermarked the shit out of everything. I guess I don't blame him. But if you go look at his stand, you can barely see what the pictures are of, because it's just watermark all over the whole thing.
Are a little better in photography than they are in illustration, but you can still get rid of them with AI, unless it's really low res, because odds are the AI is going to just completely change the image, then they are going to come up with the correct thing.
Yeah.
And also, hello, John Dillard.
Hello there.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, you're in a void today.
No, I'm in the same room.
Yeah, looks like you're in a void.
Well, I don't have the light on me, so it looks like pure black, the background.
Yeah, it's nice.
So what's new? We weren't talking about. We weren't crucifying you for how long you had it. We were crucifying you for what you did or did not put in.
I know. Don was like, "Oh, you put in these mouse pads." I'm like, "No, I didn't. That's not me." He's like, "Oh, you put in these coupons for World of Warcraft." I was like, "No, I didn't."
Who put in
Oh my god, dude, Wyman knocked it out of the park, but he just put so much garbage in the like Wyman was putting essentially when you go to a trade convention and you walk away from one booth with a bag, just a heavy 4-pound bag just full of pamphlets. That's what Wyman put in for his work. We couldn't figure out what belonged to what, because it was all just different random crap.
Yeah, it's that's all Wyman. What is this? Oh, it's Wyman. What is this? It's Wyman.
It's probably marsupial, because we didn't know what marsupial put in. Probably marsupial put that in. Who knows?
Yeah.
Did you end up putting anything in? I thought you were going to mail something to Rick so he could put it in for you.
Yeah, because I didn't have my stickers, so I mailed them to Rick when he still had the box. Where are my stickers anyway? But yeah. So they're in the box. They got it.
He even put in the box like a printer printout of a photograph of him when he was a young man, like when he was like 8 years old.
Yeah, a picture of himself as a child.
It's like a school picture or something.
Like 4 of them, so that everyone could take one. Why would I want this?
Oh, damn it!
Oh god!
I want one of those so bad now.
Yeah, no, I kind of do want one. I put it up on my wall. People feel like, "Oh, who's that?" Like, I don't know, some guy.
Well, one of you is getting the box again, so one of you can definitely take one.
Yeah. So GMT asks Dillard, "How's the Buckler coming along?"
The Buckler is scheduled to arrive. The books themselves, December 22nd.
Oh, nice.
So after they arrive, I should probably be able to get them all out within a few days. And there's not that many to ship out. We'll see.
You definitely should get a label printer though of some sort.
I don't know anything about like shipping labels and what do you do or how do you buy postage or.
Talk to Don Chin. He should.
My wife said she'll take care of it, like that aspect of it. So I'm like, I don't know if I should get involved.
Do you have Gemini? Do you have Gemini mailers?
Yeah, I got all that stuff coming. No, I don't have any of it. The only thing I have right now is like bubble wrap mailers that I bought a couple of months back. But I just went and just dropped a ton of money and just got everything shipped and everything expedited. So a couple of things showed up today. Some backing boards showed up today. Tomorrow, everything else is kind of like showing up.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be here for a couple of days at least before the books show up.
Cool.
That way when they show up, I can just get, right down to it. And I'm working furiously right now so that I can have money to take off the few days and just do the shipping. But that is where the Buckler is at currently.
Nice. And welcome my pickles to the chat as well. So what were we talking about anyway?
Don't do business in China.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's where we were at, but.
Oh, dude! Speaking of that, I even seen a couple of those when I was looking at the plushies when that thing was going on.
Yeah.
They use stuff that still has a watermark on it. They don't even care to take it off.
That's what I was gonna say. They'll just put it up with the watermark. They don't give a shit.
I mean, God, there's AI that does it now too. It takes like 2 seconds. That's sad.
2 seconds. Time is money.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was gonna say. You're talking about taking the watermark off. I'm like, they don't give a shit. They'll just put it up there with the watermark.
Yeah, but it's not like they're in China.
Yeah, you were saying that gaming companies were having a
case against them.
Yeah, you were saying that gaming companies were finding out that doing business with China isn't worth it.
No, yeah, that really isn't.
Yeah.
They're just losing money working over there.
Yeah, and I mean, forced to censor their games in crazy ways, and then half the time, they still don't get approved. They do all this shit to try to appease China, and then China bans the game anyway.
Yeah.
For one reason or another. So, is it true? Did I see somewhere that Chris Pratt is voicing Tails, or was that a joke?
No, that's a joke. Actually, I was going to bring that up.
Okay.
Because I complain a lot.
Was the Grinch one?
What's that, John?
I thought that the joke was that they put out that he was like a false report that he was going to be doing the voice for the Grinch in a new animated movie.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, I think people also were putting this one as a joke too, because the actual voice of Tails was announced. Today, actually, looking at the date.
Oh, okay.
And it is Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and that's the actual voice of Tail, currently in the video games. As you should do if the voice actor is available for work. You should cast the person who voices the character.
An actual voice actor. Imagine that.
Yeah, because apparently there was a joke going around where Chris Pratt was supposed to be the voice of the Grinch, and if you clicked on the news article, it just sent you to a picture of Chris Pratt in his underwear looking all buff and sweaty.
He's like the new Rick Roll.
Yeah. Well, I can see how believable these jokes are, too, after he got casted for both Mario and Garfield.
And, like, yeah, I mean, the fact that the voice actor who plays Mario in the games is alive and well and would be happy to do it.
And is in the movie.
And is in the movie as someone else.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? That's bizarre.
But apparently the Sonic movie is going to be using the actual characters from the game going forward. Except for, obviously, the sole case of Dr. Robotnik, Eggman. Because he's played by Jim Carrey, but he's also not voiced. He's live action. I'm a little more lenient with live action characters because you gotta, like, I don't know, make some middle ground with them. You have to deal with the fact that you're dealing with real life. He is a talented guy too. I don't think he was playing Eggman in the first movie. Like, it just didn't seem like the character. But who knows? It was supposed to kind of be like a intro to the character type thing. Maybe he'll be more Eggman-like in the second movie.
Yeah, I guess. And Idris Elba is Knuckles.
Yeah, that's the one that caught me off guard. It's like, but he's not Knuckles in the game.
Interesting.
I find it weird because Idris Elba doesn't have a distinctive voice.
Not really, yeah.
As much as people say that he's the stellar actor, and he very well may be. I've only seen him in like 2 movies. The Alien movie and the.
Isn't that better to be if you're a voice actor?
Why would you pay so much money for somebody who doesn't have like a distinctive voice?
Yeah, that's what he's getting at, right? So like a voice actor is just a talented voice, right? They're putting the character into it. But if you want like somebody's name recognition as a voice actor, you want to be able to tell that it's them just from sound, right? Like
which kind of ruins it.
What's his name? Gilbert Gottfried played Iago. You immediately know it's Gilbert Gottfried because he's got a distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was a hilarious Mad TV episode where they were pretending that Arnold Schwarzenegger finally got cast by Disney to play in a monkey movie. Oh, that was a great episode. Look it up. It's worth watching.
I know which one you're talking about.
I'm so excited to be #1 box office smash monkey movie.
Monkey movie.
What was funny about Mad TV is there's a famous voice actor that got his start over there. It was Phil Lamar.
Is he Oh, that's right. I've seen that he does voice acting. But is that where he started?
Yeah, he started Mad TV, but he kind of just went into voice acting after that.
Okay.
Like, Futurama, Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
Some Samurai Jack, he's everything, honestly. You could just look it up. Phil Lamar has probably been in most long-term animated series that you've seen, even if it's just like one role or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do love Hermes.
GMT wants to know if you, John, have ever thought about taking up pro wrestling.
Absolutely, I thought about it very briefly, many times, but then I come to the realization that I'm very unfit and I don't like pain.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every time I watch a boring wrestling match, I'm like, I should get in there and no, I forgot I'm crazy out of shape. I throw my back out trying to get in.
You did pretty well in the 6 a.m. comics, comic skate wrestler thing. The problem is they put you in too soon. I mean, if you're like one of the early people in there, you have almost no chance because eventually you'll get thrown out. But you stayed in for a long time.
That's true. It's true. It's all true. No lies detected.
She says, unfit. Look up Kevin Owens.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, these guys are like they're actual bona fide tough guys. I'm not a tough guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't born with the genes to be a tough guy.
Is right. Like, you could have like quite a bit of weight to you and still be reasonably fit and athletic, and then you could just be like a dad who sits at home drawing comics most of the time.
Hey. But I mean, like, okay, think of it. Even somebody that looks as out of shape as like Mick Foley, right?
Yeah.
Could I realistically, even with a couple of months, like give me 3 months to get in shape, would I be able to do a 60-minute Iron Man match in a boiler room? No.
Yeah. No, Joshua. It was in a video game. 6 a.m. Comics has been putting people's likenesses in this wrestling game and pitting them against each other and seeing how they do.
It's a very common thing for people to do, yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite stuff are where you see Super Grover throwing Darth Vader out of the ring, like, stuff like that.
Mm.
A lot of people have actually used that, coincidentally, to make comic books. They'll use the make a character feature from the SmackDown video games. And take pictures of them, as you can turn them around and stuff like that.
Oh, for references and stuff, yeah.
And just put that in their comics. Yeah. No, I'm talking about like writers. They don't want to like get a
Oh wow. Yeah,
they'll actually go and like clip out the little character and put him in the scene.
Man, I thought people were using this like, because I knew artists that used to do that back when I was in school, right? Like people were trying to learn how to draw, and like I kind of know how to draw what I see, but I can't make up poses or whatever. So they would just go and they would make a character in there, and that would be like their reference image. But man, that's even worse, having just a writer outright taking images directly out of there and putting it in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They also, what do you call it? I've seen somebody do that with that, and I've also seen them do it with that that DC Online game. Like they'll make their superhero character and then just use clips of that character. They'll pull it out of the game and use it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's a horrible idea. Don't endorse that. What are you talking about?
You gotta go home with what you brought to the prom.
Yeah.
You can only do so much with what God gave you.
I mean, at the very least, just I don't know. I hate 3D comics. I think they're the laziest pieces of shit. But just go get Daz and learn how to manipulate the pre-made models and put different outfits on it. That would even be better than using fucking DC Online or something like that.
But is Daz free?
It used to be. I don't know if it still is. Yeah,
what
Daz.
Is this music? This music is wacky as hell.
It's Final Fantasy music. What do you think?
Well, speaking of Lorenzo Music, and GMT did mention Lorenzo Music, who, by the way, RIP, died in 2001. Guess who the newest brawler is in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl?
Let me guess. Is it Phil Lamar?
Who?
Just not even a character he's played. Just put Phil Lamar right there in the brawl.
Yeah, no, you mentioned earlier that Garfield, he plays Garfield. Or no, Chris Pratt plays Garfield.
Yeah.
I've seen somewhere that Garfield's going to be in the game. Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Garfield is the first free DLC character.
Okay, question. Maybe I'm not like up on like Garfield lore, but has there been any like iteration of Garfield where it's like action oriented?
Well, this one is.
I mean, there have been sequences because Garfield. There's a lot of daydreaming involved, but it's not like the series has been action. They've had like almost Looney Tune style slapstick, so I guess that's close enough.
Yeah.
Apparently, because when I think Garfield, I think probably the most inactive character that there is out there.
Yeah, right.
I've seen him get chased by giant spiders with what's that one cat everybody hates?
Nermal?
Nermal, yeah. Giant spiders with Nermal's heads on it. Like that was an actual thing that happened. I mean, he might be an inactive cat by nature, but he's forced to be active when he's scared or slapstick and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do think I kind of get an image in my head of Garfield running with both hands out like this in that Garfield and Friends cartoon that used to be on.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just the intro, though. I don't know if that actually happened.
Apparently, he can hurt people with his thought of hating Mondays.
Nice.
Like his thought bubble pops up. Let's see, that kind of like popped up, and then it can hurt people if they touch it. I guess for a second. Hit people with burps and giant turkey legs. So, and he will not be voiced by Chris Pratt.
He won't be voiced by anyone. There's no voice lines in this game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're lost,
Yeah.
That's right.
You should have him
Available.
voiced by Bill Murray.
Yeah, right. That would be good. But yeah, that's kind of that preview kind of sucked. They showed him for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So
that's all they have to show off. You can actually get like a really good picture of any of these characters in 15 seconds because they only have like 6 or 7 moves.
Mm-hmm. He does have, by the way, Sketchbook, he does have an eating lasagna move, but I don't know if it heals him or
They should give
what.
him a buff. They should make him stronger for like 5 seconds so he just punches somebody.
Yeah.
But, she's right. Finally, Garfield can fight Michelangelo. The dream fight can happen.
The turtle, that is. Not the painter.
See, that would be a better fight. That'd be the real dream fight if you could fight Michelangelo the painter.
And yes, of course you can kick people off the ledge. That's the whole point of the game, is to kick people off the ledge.
Yeah, it's like Smash Brothers. You're trying to get people off the ledge so they lose stocks.
Mm-hmm. But not Odie. Odie is not involved, unfortunately.
But, even
not
if
even as like an attack or something?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. But even if he wasn't a very active character, that really wouldn't stop them if you've seen some of the other characters that are in here, like Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold, who's kind of a bully, but she's not like an action star or anything like that. Hey Arnold's a pretty down-to-earth show, all things considered, is in this game fighting people like Powder Toast Man and Reptar.
It's the wacky game.
The game is already out, right?
Yes. He's the first DLC.
I'm gonna go look up some Powder Toast Man moves. I want to see what they did with Powder.
Overall, it's pretty good. He can throw crumbs at people. Like a charge shot, he can like just throw a whole bunch of crumbs at people. He can attack with his butt. He's got a lot of really good stuff. And his a stage that you fight at is a breakfast on a kitchen surface, so it's like cooking eggs and cereal and stuff like that. But you don't want to fall into the cereal. It's literally a death trap. You just go straight down. It's dead.
It says rated everyone 10+ for cartoon violence and comic mischief.
That's right.
Yeah, Odie would just jump right off the edge. I agree, Sketchbook.
So what's going on with Halo Infinite? Seems like there's been a lot of angst over this game.
I don't know. I haven't really been following too much.
Oh, you haven't? Did you see that they shut down like the entire subreddit?
Oh,
Like just shut it down over the weekend. I guess it must be back up by now.
that's not good news.
Yeah, for like 2 days, they were just like, fuck it, we're shutting this down because there's just like people yelling and screaming and probably doxing each other and threatening each other's lives and all kinds of shit.
What was the
like,
main
this is a video
reason
game, right?
behind that?
Some people really hate the game and some people really love it and they're fighting about it.
Because I was under the impression that the vitriol for that game was coming kind of like the WNBA scenario where the game came out and the people were talking mad shit about how it's way better than everything else, which caused a bunch of people to be like, F you, this game sucks.
Yeah, something about the multiplayer, I don't know. I guess I should have researched this.
Yeah, well,
I just saw that
it's not polished, and it's missing simple features that older games had on day one. Which I would believe that's like common for the AAA industry now.
And some people were saying it's just a Call of Duty skin.
Yeah.
And other people are saying, no, it's not even close to that. So.
See, it was getting my hopes up because it had like really nice references and stuff in there, like the pink color palette for the what's it called, Master Chief, is called lightish red, which is a red versus blue reference. When he comes in, he's like, it's not pink, it's lightish red.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I haven't like delved deep into what the angst is all about, but I just thought it was amazing. That, I mean, on the other hand, I kind of have to wonder, is shutting down the subreddit an overreaction because it's 2021 and nobody can take criticism without screaming and crying, harassment and all that bullshit? That's a possibility. But, they're claiming it's been all toxic and stuff, and it's like, has it been? Or is it just vigorous debate?
Says, for the most part, everyone's loving it. But it is missing features, and it's mostly just the fans and apologists going out, which is that's kind of just typical. Like, I'm going to lean into what you were saying. It's probably just it's 2021. Everybody freaks out more than they used to, and also their reactions to freaks out are more than they used to, so they're just going to shut down the subreddit.
Yeah. Just going to say, oh no, people are arguing. It must be toxic gamers.
It's Reddit. Everyone on Reddit's toxic. I mean, there's a few subreddits that aren't, but like on the whole, most people on Reddit are toxic. It's kind of worse than Twitter, honestly.
Yeah, they're kind of not wrong when it comes to Reddit. It's like if somebody were to come out and say, "Oh, it's the fan base is these numbers are getting skewed because of the people that are, downvoting it on Rotten Tomatoes." Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And Reddit, I'm like, probably.
Yeah, it's Reddit. If somebody's like, "Oh man, put out my new thing," and it got like 500 downvotes, it's like, yeah, I believe it. Like, just outright, I believe it right there.
Yeah. At least they're not hiding the downvotes.
That's true.
Oh,
did you see the? Never mind. Go ahead. I was just thinking about that reminded me of the Seth Rogen thing that.
Oh
had like 1% for a while, like the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman have somehow created the lowest rated TV series of all time.
It's an amazing feat.
Yes,
it is.
Santa Inc.
Like I watched the trailer and I was like, wow, like that it must have been very difficult to put that together to be as unlikable as it appeared to be, Like they had to really try to be as unlikable as possible.
Yeah.
And like his fucking response too when he found out how low it was rated is like, our TV show is making a lot of white supremacists angry. Like, sure.
Yeah.
Because from what I gathered from the trailer was that Sarah Silverman's character, the elf, was gonna become one of the white supremacists.
Yeah,
she was gonna get in good with the guys, and that's how she was gonna get her way forward. She was gonna make buddies with Santa Claus and the people on the board, so that she could become the next Santa Claus. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's literally.
From what I understand, there's a black guy who was going to be the next Santa, and they kill him off, which is not pleasing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
In favor of Sarah Silverman. So, plus all of the reindeer are extremely offensive racial stereotypes.
Yeah.
Apparently. So yeah, they've pissed off everyone. So yeah, I mean, I saw a review by a black movie review. This woman who was saying this is like the most racist thing I've seen in a while.
That's what all black women say.
Yeah. Also, aren't both Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman Jews? Isn't this like cultural appropriation?
Exactly. No, it's fine when they do it, but yeah, it should be cultural appropriation. That's right. But yeah, it's hilarious. They've got, I believe it right now, a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's from, whatever they're called, like viewer reviews, like amateur reviewers, whatever you call it.
Audience reviewers.
Audience reviewers, right? Yeah. The professional reviews. Last I saw, there were 2. Like the professional reviewers are like scared to death to even submit a review.
Yeah. It's like it's so bad that we don't even really get that discrepancy where we see like Star Trek Discovery, where it's like 80% of the professionals and like 40% under the audience. It's like 2%, and then we don't even want to touch that piece of shit. With like
exactly. Yeah, they're not even reviewing it. Like, well, I don't know if it's, I've seen some YouTubers.
That's probably the best course of action is to kind of just let it die on the corner,
Yeah, because, professional reviewers, it's all about access journalism. I don't know who they're wanting to curry favor with to continue to have access to.
I wonder who somebody that gives Sarah Silverman and Seth Rogen a positive review. I wonder who they're trying to curry favor with.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me think a little bit here.
But apparently they don't want to give it any review at all because it's so bad.
Well, this powdered toast man looks great.
Let's see. Fishozo says the black elf was evil and was giving the reindeers meth.
There you go.
As they do.
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch this. This sounds fascinating.
It probably sounds more interesting than it actually is, given how the reviews are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not even going to watch. I sat through season 1, or part 1 of season 1 of the Masters of the Universe. And I am not going to watch part 2. So, definitely not watching this. I'm not going to waste my time.
That's good. You know what? There's only so many hours in the day. You're a grown man.
That's right. I've been watching the old, I don't know how old it is exactly, but the old Green Lantern animated series. Like the computer-generated one.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's not that old. Less than a decade, I think. Maybe it's up to a decade now.
I feel like I'd seen some of it, like an episode here or there, but I noticed since all the DC stuff is on HBO Max, I've been like, I'm going to binge this now. So I've just been watching it on my off time when I'm doing something else.
It's actually doing, 2011. So it actually is up to a decade now. It's just doing Green Lantern stuff. He's just patrolling his little sector. So okay.
Well, I was surprised to find like the main storyline, the initial main storyline, only lasted the first half of the season, and then it ended. So like, oh, okay, what are they going to do for the rest of the time? Oh, just random adventures. Okay.
Yeah, I figure Marsupio would like a show about space cops.
Yeah, that's right. Magic space cops.
Space.
Hey, it's Hal Jordan.
Uniform's still a uniform.
That's right.
Well, also, of like all Green Lanterns who would just probably make a gun as a construct, Hal's probably the one to do it.
No, he tends to make baseball stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's obsessed with baseball.
I don't know why. I know he likes to slam planes into people in the comics. Like he'll actually like construct a plane and slam it into somebody. But
Kilowog has been like making. I mean, he likes to make a hammer, but he also likes to make guns, big, gigantic chain guns and things like that. But anyway, no, it's mostly this weird. I was like, I had no idea Hal Jordan was obsessed with baseball.
Me neither.
Making bats and balls and throwing them at people. It's interesting. Oh, Joshua says he liked Aya and Razor. I do too. Aya is the computer. It's the anthropomorphic ship's computer. Basically turns herself into a robot and then falls in love with a red lantern named Razor. It's a cute story. I like it.
Hal Jordan does like to bang aliens a lot. But I mean, if you've seen some of the aliens, could you blame him?
Yeah, well, they run into the star sapphires and almost get turned into crystallized men. But he basically convinces them not to through the power of sex appeal. Sex appeal.
It's a kid's show. That's as far as we can go.
That's right. He basically seduces, unintentionally seduces one of them. Convinces her not to take them.
Well, I mean, given the lore of the Star Sapphires, and most of them are like brokenhearted and just too passionate. It's like, I think most of them, the problems could be solved by putting a little meat in their tacos.
That's right.
Oh my God, he said it out loud.
Yeah.
Look at his face. He knows what he said.
Well, okay then. Well, what other stories have you got for us, Metal?
Let me pull my sheet back up.
Because I'm plumb out.
Ooh, Sketchbook says, hold the phone. How did Marsupial get that hat? I gave it to him as a present for his birthday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Most of the other ones are a little boring, but they're stuff to talk about. I know, Marsupial, how much you liked the Daredevil show. You really liked the Daredevil show, right?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, Kevin Feige has come out and said that if Daredevil does come to the MCU at all, he will be played by Charlie Cox, the only person that they have slated for the role.
Nice.
I don't know if that's good for... I mean, it's good for Charlie Cox. I mean, I think he did a wonderful job.
I thought they were
they
did confirm that they're bringing in Kingpin, right?
Yes, they are bringing Kingpin. I believe he's being played by Vincent. When they confirmed they're bringing him in, so it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I saw a video where they were comparing like the laugh, the chuckle from the trailer to D'Onofrio's chuckles in other shows.
Yeah. But he's also said that he's open to bringing in more of the Netflix crew. It's like, we're not doing anything with the Netflix stuff now, but if we're going to reincorporate their characters, we already have actors that are playing.
No, I do. I think that was the only thing that did save the whole Defenders thing was the strength of the Daredevil show.
Yeah.
And
I like Jessica Jones, too.
Did you? I couldn't even get to the third episode.
I enjoyed it, not as much as
it's just some things some things people like that are obviously people like them. Like people love Weird Al. For the life of me, even like if I really stretch my imagination, I'm thinking like I still don't get it. Like I just don't understand. Yeah, I feel like I'm a million years old. Like I don't get what these young kids are into. Like I just
get off my lawn.
It doesn't like they don't connect in my head. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not good.
Yeah.
I can't say that because I don't know.
Daredevil was far and away the best of the Defender series.
For
absolutely.
Sure. It's like the others don't even come close.
Fantastic.
I think the one that is like it's right to be the most critical of is probably Iron Fist, and there's a lot of production related reasons for that too. But
I liked it. I liked Iron Fist better than what's his name?
Luke Cage.
The dude.
Punisher.
Luke Cage.
Oh yeah.
No, see, Punisher was.
No,
that's not.
Oh
Defenders.
God, the main bad guy in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it, but it was watchable. I thought, but I liked Luke Cage the least.
They should have made Luke Cage basically Black Dynamite. That would be fantastic.
Well, the thing is, if you actually go back and look at Luke Cage, he was kind of a love letter to the positive sides of the blaxploitation era.
Mm-hmm.
He's fun. I think he says "Sweet Christmas" only once in the entire show, and that's sad.
I was watching a review one time with your boy Zach, way back in the day when he was reviewing the Defenders. And he was talking about an old Luke Cage comic where he's like, I'm going to beat up these crackers and go pound some mound. Oh, yeah, motherfucker. fucking time. That's exactly what I think of when I think of Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so much better instead of, what we got.
Yeah, Iron Fist had a lot of problems with it.
I liked Iron Fist for some reason. I just liked it.
I was able to watch Iron Fist almost all the way through the beginning of the second season. I wasn't able to get through Jessica Jones, but I was able to get through Iron Fist.
See, one of my big problems with Iron Fist was also the choreography, which was supposed to have the same choreographer from Daredevil, but because they decided to shoot multiple things at the same time, they couldn't get him and had to get a different choreographer in there, and it was kind of just whack. And the plot was like all over the place. Like they were trying to juggle 3 different plot lines at the same time and not doing it very well.
Yeah, there's one part where he goes back to China for some reason, for no reason at all. Gets nothing accomplished, and then comes back, and it's like, what was the point of all that? For like 2 episodes. It was like, that was stupid. But I liked his little sidekick girl, but whatever her name was, and Oh, and that wasn't that the one with Sigourney Weaver?
No, that was the Defenders.
Was she in that one?
No.
That was Defenders?
That was the 8-episode miniseries The Defenders had Sigourney Weaver.
Okay.
She was the main bad guy.
Yeah. I like the one with Sigourney Weaver, so.
I honestly...
Sigourney Weaver was the one that was taking over Rand Enterprises.
No,
she was one of the 5 fingers of the hand, and she was trying to become immortal, and then she got backstabbed by Elektra, and Elektra became the main bad guy.
Yeah. John's thinking. She was the one who brought Elektra back to life, basically. And
I don't know, for some reason, like the only time I'm thinking of Sigourney Weaver in the show, and I'm picturing her talking to a homeless-looking Danny Rand in the front lobby of the building, or the outside of the front lobby, telling him to go get himself cleaned up or something like that. Am I wrong?
I don't think that happened.
I don't know.
There was a scene in the boardroom where he kind of runs into this boardroom full of all these businessmen and Sigourney Weaver, and then the businessmen pull out, guns and nunchucks and stuff and start, trying to kill him.
And that was in Defenders. That was like the first episode of Defenders.
Yeah, that's right. Now I remember. But anyway.
Yeah, my problem was I thought Defenders was kind of weak. Overall, I thought there were some good moments in it, but because it was working with this 8-episode length, and they were rushing it through, and they were introducing this bad guy that Weaver was playing, only for her to be killed off in episode 6. It's I don't know, it was just too cramped, and not enough happened in that cramped amount of time.
I like that, though. I like the fact in the Defenders, I didn't like the Defenders, but I did like the fact that they did, quote unquote, not officially, but put Daredevil as their leader.
Yeah.
Just because he was the strongest show at the time. So it's we make this guy our unofficial leader. Let him have the floor whenever it's time to talk or have the final word. Give it to him. I appreciate that.
Yeah, every scene he was in was, better than all the other teams.
Stole the show, yeah.
Well, and also the way they've rewritten,
scene, motherfucker.
The way they rewrote Matt Murdock, and not too much of a character rewrite. He's still kind of in line with Matt. He's just not as loose as Murdock is in the comic when it comes to the women. But the way they kind of rewrote him is he's the closest to a moral backbone that the group has, right? As the lawyer and stuff, he's the one that kind of. He struggles with things morally, but he still goes to convention, and he kind of confession, and he kind of always figures out what the right thing to do is. And the other people are kind of morally ambiguous by comparison, especially Jessica. Jessica's the most morally ambiguous of all of them. Luke kind of has a moral line. Danny's kind of still lost in the field somewhere. So you need a moral backbone as the leader of the group, and the way that Daredevil was set up in the previous series made him perfect, even if his show wasn't the strongest of them.
Fitz Chozo did not like the Purple Man in Jessica Jones. I liked that character. I could see myself as that character.
I like Tenet. I think
my favorite meme from like 2014 is like The Walking Dead, where they says, remember how everybody was making fun of Carl's mom for not watching him?
Yeah.
Like never watching him. He's like, hey, where's Carl? And somebody's responding with, out in the woods being morally ambiguous.
Yeah, but I will agree, though. The things that were off with the Purple Man were not Tenet's fault. Even he was kind of disappointed with it, right? Like, he was expecting to be able to, like, paint himself up all purple. Because he was like, he knew the character from the comic books, he even looked at images. And at most, sometimes they gave him a purple suit or a purple tie. And it's like, there's a lot of disappointing things with that character. I did kind of like in the second one.
In comics, though.
Yeah.
What was that, John?
I was just saying, there's a lot of disappointing characters in comics in general, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is Daredevil going to be Spider-Man's lawyer in the next Spider-Man?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Movie.
He does have a history for being a lawyer for superheroes and stuff like that, vigilantes.
I watch Matt Pat and the Film Theorists, and the answer is yes.
Okay, did he say that? What is the next one called? Something home.
No Way
Kick It Home. No Way Home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That actually got me super interested.
Right.
I completely checked out of the Marvel universe after Endgame, and nothing really got me back. I watched Loki. I enjoyed that. I liked the very last episode was good. But nothing really got me interested again until the new Spider-Man trailer dropped, and I was like, wait a second. I haven't even seen Far From Home yet.
Really?
Yeah, so I got to go back and watch that probably.
I haven't seen it.
But I'm
either.
like, I'm interested now to see this new Spider-Man. If they're going to be bringing back the bad villains, they're going to be bringing back everybody. And from what I see, like at the end, it looks like they're going to be bringing in the X-Men. Like this is going to be pretty big. This movie, might be pretty great.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to fit all that, and presumably it's going to be 2 hours.
I never thought they'd be able to fit in like all of the characters in the Infinity War movie, but they did, and they did it well.
Yeah, they could. As long as they don't follow through with that rumor that Spider-Man and Captain Marvel are going to be a thing.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, those are the characters that nobody really likes, right? Like people still to this day fight about that Peter Parker iteration, right? They don't really like him.
Yeah.
And people still have a lot of.
I don't like him. It's not even Holland's fault at all either, right? It's 100% the writing and how they use the character, because he's more like Tony Stark Jr. than he is like Peter Parker.
Yeah. Sketchbook is very disappointing in you that you watched Loki. Oh, Joshua says that's not real. Okay, I thought that I knew it was a rumor, but I didn't know how close to reality it was. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Fishoso says he doesn't like Tom Holland because he doesn't act like Spider-Man. Well, see, the thing is, it's not that I don't like Tom Holland, right? He's an actor, right? And to some degree, actors have a little choice of how they do things. But for the most part, that's a director problem, right? Because the director is the one that tells you how to act. And it's also a writer problem, but that also goes back to director, because at the end of the day, the director has the choice of changing the script. They have the final say in how a movie goes, outside of the people giving the director money. So it's really not his fault. Like, I don't know if he could be a better Spider-Man. I kind of liked him in Civil War, even though I hated that trash fire of a movie on the whole. But he was acting more like Spider-Man in Civil War, jumping around, giving quips to people, kind of bumbling. He wasn't acting like the brown noser quite yet that he ended up being in the Spider-Man movies and afterwards.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe he'll be. Oh, but see, here's the thing. Far From Home, he was on his own, pretty much. Doing his own thing. I mean, there's a bit of Tony Stark in there, a little bit. But
from what I've heard, Tony Stark is still going to be here, because part of the plot that they revealed is that all of the supervillains that are coming back have become more powerful by stealing tech from Tony Stark. So we can't leave Iron Man alone.
Of course.
Right, because I think they were talking about how the Electro is back, but he has like different kind of tech, and it looks like Tony Stark tech that he has to kind of harness his energy that makes him. Yeah, that could be. It could be. The fact is, and that's another thing that I don't get. Right, I don't get people's love for Iron Man either. And I'm like, I thought the first Iron Man was okay. I thought that there were other Marvel movies that were way better, but people seem to have this like, we want Tony. So you got to give them people what they continuously want,
I didn't get that either, right? Like, I thought the first one was a stellar movie. It was a great way to actually introduce what would become the MCU. But even then, I thought Thor was a stronger movie than Iron Man afterwards, or even Captain America. It's like I never really got.
It is because it was the first one of the modern MCU, and it's just he's been in it for the longest. So,
he won't be though, because Chris Hemsworth, while his morale for it seems to be waning, said that he'll continue to play Thor as long as Marvel wants him to play Thor.
Ooh,
yeah.
Why not? I thought we were cheated out of a third Andrew Garfield movie. I wish we'd had gotten one of those.
Well, if the second one wasn't so shit, maybe we would have got a third one.
At all. I didn't give it a second thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wanted one where he finally gets Mary Jane now that Gwen Stacy is gone. But oh well.
See, I always liked Gwen better. It's a shame she had to die. Well, until they retroactively made that comic where she was banging Osborn, that kind of ruined the character, but...
I remember that,
I did not remember that until...
I don't like Emma Stone.
Yes,
Gwen
I
Stacy.
agree. I agree with that.
Oh, well. She's dead now. Are you happy?
I'm super happy. I don't like strong, independent women.
Oh, well, then you wouldn't have liked my fantasy Mary Jane in the third Garfield movie that I have in my head.
Who was your fantasy?
I don't know who, but I'm just.
It was Emma Stone.
It was Emma Stone, yeah. Also Emma Stone.
Both roles.
That's right.
Let's go back to the way she looked in Easy A, and she'll dye her hair red.
That's right.
Put on a wig, she'll be fine.
No,
because I always pictured Mary Jane as kind of like that Emma Stone attitude of like, I'm gonna go do what I want to do.
Yeah, do what I want.
Aside from like Emma Stone being a twig, personality-wise, I thought she'd make a much better Mary Jane than she would have Gwen Stacy. Like, she didn't really feel like Gwen to me.
Yeah. No, I
got to being Gwen Stacy, a young Anna Faris.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just always picture MJ from the Spider-Man cartoon, the 90s cartoon. Not to mention that some of the 90s comic books where she becomes a supermodel. So...
Yeah, those were nice. I never liked her in the cartoon. I never liked her look. I never liked the haircut they gave her in the cartoon.
I guess you're right.
I was never.
I like the boots she wore.
She's pretty. No.
Jim,
she always wore those thigh-high boots.
Tell the truth, Marsupial. You would have casted Hilary Duff as Mary Jane.
Oh my god.
Lizzie McGuire is Mary Jane Watson.
All my respect for Marsupial out the window. Everybody's talking about Thor and Thor 2 are both bad. No, the best Thor was Thor Ragnarok, and that was probably the best Marvel movie so far.
I just hated, because Thor Ragnarok, as a great movie on its own, is kind of what led to the horrible depiction of Thor after Thor Ragnarok, including an Endgame. I fucking hate Fat Thor.
I love Fat Thor. I can't get enough of him. Yeah, that scene, dude. The scene where he's like, I'm back. I don't got to work out or nothing. I'm back. Hit me with some lightning. My beard gets a dope-ass braid right down the middle of it. Fucking ready to go.
I liked... here's my...
I also heard something. Do you know if it's true? That in Endgame, every time that Thor swings for Thanos, he's aiming for the head. Every single swing. Is that true?
I never paid attention enough. But
Yeah,
I can get it because he said you should have aimed for the head. Like, that'd be a funny joke to continue. Like, now he's got, like, this neurosis about having to hit him in the head.
I was going to say, my hot take is I liked Kirsten Dunst as MJ.
Well, who didn't? She was great.
Yeah.
How was that a hot take? Get out of here, Mark.
Yeah, that's a pretty cold take, man. That's so cold that we're putting in a casket and
Marsupial in his middle of the road attitude.
Actually, no. Apparently, a lot of people don't like her, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Not even just MJ. They just don't like her as an actor. They think she's like a very plain face, and they don't like her voice. I'm like, I don't understand that. I've liked her as an actor since Jumanji.
I didn't even know she was in Jumanji. I think I was too little when that came out. The first thing I remember him was Bring It On, and I fucking love that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember her from Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good role.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put you in your coffin.
That's right.
Bring It On is like it's like Mean Girls. It's like one of those movies I can watch anytime. Anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Mean Girls is such a good movie. Every time I always think, like, I go to the mall, and my mall has, like, one of those center fountains. So every single time I pass by it, I think of that scene where it's just, like, they're, like, back in the savannah, and you just see, like, that one girl tackle the other one into the fountain.
Yeah. That happened to me this year when it was October 3rd.
Oh yeah, there's two types of people in October 3rd. It's the Mean Girls or the Full Metal Alchemist fans. There's only two types of people with it.
To this day, I still get PTSD when I hear May 19th because they had this long campaign in wrestling when the wrestler Kane was coming out with a movie, and it was coming out on May 19th. And every time they would say May 19th, Kane would start getting like flashbacks. It was like the corny shit you ever saw. But damn, every time May 19th rolls around, I fucking crack up. I even sent my brother text and shit on the phone like, hey, it's May 19th.
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Oh, is it cold where you're at there, Marsupial?
It is. That's why I've got the jacket on. I was saying earlier, problem with my heater is that if I turn it up enough that it turns on, then this place gets like sweltering hot. So I turn it down low enough that it's not freezing, but I still have to wear a jacket. Can't get the heat exactly right.
Oh, you might.
It's probably because you have weight on you that you can't find a comfortable temperature.
Yeah. I've never seen Mean Girls.
Oh, you need to watch it. Mean Girls is one of the best movies. Like,
you got to watch it by yourself, though.
Yeah.
Like, don't watch it with somebody. Just watch it in your own time.
Okay.
Just
and watch
soak it
in. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
GMT says I need more PCs in my room.
Because all the heat from the running PCs would warm you up.
Yeah. You don't need somebody like metal, like fucking nudging you in the arm like every couple of minutes, going, "Hey, watch this, what's gonna happen next?"
All I've got is my MacBook, and it runs very cool.
Oh, that is your misfortune. Should have got a Dell.
Listen, I'll tell you.
Actually, I do have a Dell.
The few times that we have watched movies and stuff in Discord, I've only given commentary after something passed.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds to me like we need to watch Spider-Man Far From Home in Discord at some point. Since
we do need to watch it, but first you need to watch Mean Girls.
Yeah, that is a higher priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, were you a male cheerleader?
No. I wasn't in any kind of organized sports. Damn, this music is getting to me. I'm getting anxious.
If Jozo knew about male cheerleader stuff. You figure out that you don't look up girl skirts, or even if you try, it doesn't matter. They've got really short shorts on underneath the skirts that stop you from seeing anything.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. The short shorts still look nice, though.
Hey guys, I gotta get going. I'm past my time.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me on. I'll see you later.
Yeah, see ya. We'll have to come up with one last topic, I think.
Well, how do you feel about one that I brought up earlier? Sylvester Stallone, for the first time in his career, is going to be a regular role on a TV show. He's had a lot of minor appearances, but has never actually been the star of a show. And it is going to be Kansas City, which is by the showrunner of The Sopranos. And it is about Sal, a legendary mobster from New York who's forced to relocate to Kansas City and reestablish his entire mafia empire from scratch, along with some wacky, like a motley crew of characters that he finds along the way.
Sounds like My Blue Heaven.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie?
Yeah. It does kind of sound like similar to that.
Did you see, speaking of Sylvester, not to change the subject too much, but did you see that Sylvester Stallone came out with a sort of director's cut of Rocky IV?
I did not.
It's called Rocky versus Drago or something like that.
Oh, I do like Rocky IV.
Interesting. I've not seen it, but I saw like a review of it.
Yeah.
And I think it was on Cinemassacre, actually. It looks interesting. Like, they got rid of the robot at the beginning. Sorry, GMT. And other things. But they're, it's interesting. Might be something cool to watch. But it's not, like, free anywhere. I think you have to pay for it on Amazon or something.
Well, everything's free if you know where to look.
Well, sure. I guess. Yeah. But it only just came out, so it may be a little bit hard to find for, the next few weeks. But anyway. So Sylvester Stallone is in, what's the name of it?
Kansas City is the name of what we're looking at.
Kansas City.
Yeah. It's like, so The Sopranos with Sylvester Stallone. Kind of. Sort of. It's not like a spinoff as far as it could end up being. We don't know if there's any connection. But as far as I know, it's just an original story. There's no connection or anything. It's got a kind of a different plot or whatever, but yeah, it's a mob story just with Sylvester Stallone as the front of it. And it's kind of interesting because at least The Sopranos took place in normal mob territory. I mean, while business is done in New York, most people live in New Jersey. That's just how it is. This is going to be kind of as far away from mob territory as you could possibly think in Kansas City.
So is he there?
Missouri.
Why is he there?
He had to relocate. I'm sure it'll be explained in the show on why he had to relocate.
Okay. GMT says, if anyone thinks Gingercide is a problem in entertainment, just look at what they're doing to robots. Yeah, they got rid of the robot in Rocky IV.
Or also, like, they're making just robots look more and more person-like as things go on. It's like, why do things need to look like robots? When we could just graft a face right onto it and make it look like a person.
Now, you said have you not seen the new Lost in Space?
I saw. I think I saw the whole first season.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just
because the third season just dropped.
Digging it.
It's there. The robot is not very robot-like anymore.
No. I saw a couple clips of the recent season because my parents watch it, and I was over in the room when they were watching it, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. But that is clearly not the robot I remembered.
Yeah. It's a robot with like a weird starry face thing that turns red when it's angry. My only problem with that, at least the last couple seasons, is that it's very ambiguous on how the robots work. Like, are they sentient? They seem to be, some of them seem to be able to be reasoned with, but some of them seem to be under the control of this main robot. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, that just means some of them were programmed with logic and some of them weren't.
I guess. But they all seem to be able to theoretically be reasoned with if they can be caught in a very specific situation where a human being can, like, help them. Like, if they get caught under a rock or something and a human being can help them, suddenly they can turn good.
They're all just NPCs.
Yeah. That's right. If they happen to have a quest for you and you do it, then they can turn to your side.
Yeah, your reputation with the robot goes up.
That's right. And they can become a follower, and then they fight for you. Yes, that seems to be the rules.
An interspace RPG. That's all this is.
That's right. Yeah. Except the main bad guy obviously can't be reasoned with.
Oh, yeah. Well, can you ever reason? Well, sometimes you can.
Of course
but not very often can you reason with the main bad guy in a game.
Yeah. And unfortunately, because the third season, like, almost entirely focused on these robots, like, that was the whole season, it was very forgettable. Like, offhand, I can't even really remember how they defeated the bad guy at the end. I don't remember. So, yeah. It was just not very memorable. There is plenty of danger, Will Robinson, by the way, GMT. You are absolutely wrong. He says that an inordinate number of times.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. He says that. He says danger, family, help, family. He's big on the 2 or 3 word sentences. So.
Also, I'm pushing back. GMT says that their money's on FBI relocation, which is possible. It's entirely possible for that to be the plot when they say that he has to relocate. It's just, if you were relocated by the FBI, which usually they set you up, at least at the start of your life, right? They get you going. Why would you jeopardize all of your witness protection by starting a mafia over again from scratch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. Why else would he be in Kansas?
Maybe a competing organization pushed him out of town, and now he's looking to find new territory. There's other reasons.
Yeah. See you later, Fitzjoseph. Thanks for dropping by. By the way, I don't know, but it's going to be Sylvester Stallone, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever see Oscar, the movie? Oscar.
I think I saw part of it because Rick was watching it on one of his movie nights. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. Good Sylvester Stallone. It's kind of a similar humor to Clue.
Okay.
It's a little bit, frantic and kind of silly, and there's all this interlocking, things that happen, and this big payoff at the end and all this stuff. It's a cute movie. Oh, he's in Kansas to meet with Superman and Lois.
I don't think that's going to be the case. Especially because Kansas City is not in Kansas. It's in
Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Don't blame GMT. If you're across the pond, you may not know that. I mean, even people in the States sometimes don't know that Kansas City isn't in Kansas. So.
Yeah. I should have known that. I've been to Kansas City, Missouri.
I have too.
Isn't that the one with the arch? Or am I thinking of something?
No,
else?
that's St. Louis has the arch.
Oh, St. Louis. Well,
That's
I've been to Kansas City too.
Yeah, I would say it's not too far. They're almost on opposite sides of the state, but it's not that big of a state. And I have to pass by St. Louis to get to Kansas City. So from my perspective, it's not too far.
Yeah. I've actually been up in the Arch. Have you ever gone up in the Arch?
No, I've not.
It's cool. Yeah, you just blew GMT's mind by telling her that Kansas City is actually not in Kansas.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That actually gets everyone. Because for the most part, most places that are this state's name and city is in the state that it's in.
Yeah.
Except for Kansas City.
So what's the capital of Kansas?
Oh,
you know that?
Shoot. Off the top of my head, no, I used to know all the capitals.
It's Topeka.
Topeka. I knew it was one of the T ones, but no, Topeka would not have been my guess. I haven't been through Kansas in a long time. But see, like Kansas, I never need to go through because if the most direct north, which is still not completely direct that I ever go to, is up in Illinois. And if I'm doing that, I'm probably going to cut through maybe I'll be in Oklahoma for a little bit, but it's like Arkansas through Missouri, and then I'm up in Illinois. I don't ever have to go through Kansas.
Sorry. Yeah. By the way, part of Kansas City is in Kansas.
Just a bit.
Yeah. It's right on the edge between Missouri and Kansas.
Yeah.
What is up with Missouri and cities on its borders? Because St. Louis is half in Missouri and half in Illinois.
Yeah.
Like, what? Missouri isn't big on, having cities within its borders. It likes to have them on the edges for some reason. Crazy Missouri.
Yeah, I do think Oklahoma is the only one whose state capital is the city that shares its name. I think most other ones, it's just some random city that's in their state has their name. Or Indianapolis has Indiana in it, but that's like the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. TMT's right. The cities are trying to escape Missouri. Yeah. Kansas City wants to be in Kansas. St. Louis wants to be in Illinois.
So it's because they spelled it wrong. When you enter, you've entered the state of misery.
Yeah,
the roads are horrible. Like every single time I come up and down through Illinois, you can tell when you've entered and exited Missouri just because how bad the roads are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the courtesy of having their name be half of one state and half of another, like Texarkana.
Yeah.
Is half in Texas and half in Arkansas. Or Florala.
Yeah.
Is on the border of Florida and Alabama.
Let's see, Texoma is a better lake than Texarkana. Just have to say. I've been to both.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kansas City's just cheeky.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is it for the show. A minor geography lesson in here. Hope people learned something. If you enjoy the show, please share it with somebody else who might enjoy it. It helps out more than anything else. But if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/Vomitorium Live. Every $1, I say at least $1 because anything less than that will just end up being eaten up by the fees. Every $1 helps with our monthly hosting fees for the various things that go on. We're almost there. If you feel like giving a donation, we'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. Bye.